Hey,
Oh, there we go. Welcome to the Unlock Your Greatness podcast. I am your host, Ramon Martin.
my
Today's
pleasure.
guest is an actor. He starred in many films such as Friday as Baby Joker. He's a content creator, especially on TikTok. You could check him out on TikTok. But ladies and gentlemen, the great Rolando Molina. How you
What's
doing
up,
today?
guys?
Right.
You know what, man? Blessed to be alive. Every day you wake up alive, I say is a blessing, my guy. So I'm good.
Amen to that.
Yes,
No
sir.
question. Yeah, so we just jump right off the bat. What inspired you to get into acting?
Ooh, wow. Okay, let's get right into it then. Yeah, well, I grew up with the whole magic of movies and Hollywood and all that. I remember as a kid, my mom used to take me and my little brother to the movies. It was the little I think of like $1.50 movies, the ones that were the movies that already came out like 3, 6 months ago. But I didn't know any better. I was 5, 6 years old, so I saw some really great films and like Star Wars and E.T. and all that. And so I fell in love with movies growing up in LA and Hollywood. And well, there's one particular film called Stand By Me, which starred four very young actors at the time: Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Jerry O'Connell, and Corey Feldman. And the performance that River Phoenix gave, those of you that don't know who River Phoenix is, he is the late older brother of Joaquin Phoenix, who played the Joker
Oh,
and
wow.
won the Academy Award for it. Had River still been alive, I would have to say that Joaquin unfortunately would have been living under his shadow because he was one of the most brilliant actors of our time, in my opinion. So brilliant, in fact, that in the film he was probably about 14, 13, 14 years old, and he put on such an amazing performance. There's one scene in particular where he breaks down and cries. And for such a young actor to be so committed and move me the way he moved me through his performance, he actually made me cry. And I was about 12, 13 years old at the time.
Wow.
And that's when I realized, I said, wow, I want to do that. I want to be able to move people through my performance, and I think that was the catalyst that planted the mustard seed for me to want to become an actor and be able to move people the way River Phoenix moved me through his performance. So I think that that would be the best answer for that question, which is honestly River Phoenix is the reason why the actor who inspired me to become an actor. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Yeah,
yeah.
and of course, and going by that, me personally, I saw a couple of your movies and stuff, and you could do it all as far as like playing the serious roles and also be funny.
Thank
Uh,
you.
so this is also a fan question from actually she's my co-host on when we go TikTok live, 6 o'clock uh,
Hmm.
Pacific Standard Time, motivational
Hmm.
Mondays. So
Yeah, yeah.
she was asking like when did you discover when you were funny and when and how did you take it on onto the film?
I mean, I don't think there was ever a moment that I discovered that I was funny. In my opinion, I don't really think I'm funny. I can, if you write something funny for me, I can form it. That's my job as an actor. So when I think I realized that I was able to make people laugh, I mean, although, now that I think about it, I remember in school I could be a little clown and I enjoyed making my friends laugh and, just doing oddball things. But as far as me being a comedian per se, I could never do it like right off the dome, like stand-up comedy and all that. I could probably get away with it, but I'm definitely not that guy. But if a script is written well and it's funny, I can find the nuances and the moments in the script to make my performance funny. i.e., next Friday. But other than that, I just think that it's the job of the actor to really embrace the character and commit to the character. And if the character's funny and the script is well written, then I can make it funny. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So that's
Mm.
why Denzel Washington don't get offered too many roles, in comedian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Denzel is an amazing. I actually had the honor of working with him. I don't know if you know this. But I early in my career, I did a little film with him and Russell Crowe, a very young Russell Crowe, before he became Russell Crowe, a film called Virtuosity. And this we shot back in 19, I want to say 92, 93, when I just began my acting career. And I actually had my scene. I had like two or three scenes in the film, but I had one scene with Denzel, and that was pretty amazing for me. Such a young actor and just barely beginning my career, for me to be working. I would have to say Denzel Washington was probably the biggest star at the time that I worked with in early in my career. Um, and Denzel was very generous actor. He was very committed to his craft, and I respected that. And I think that he's one of the actors that I learned, certain set etiquette. Like when you're doing your job, do your job and do it well, and be focused and be there and be present. And then I actually had the opportunity to work with him a second time. Um, and this was in a film called, um, oh God, what's that? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going blank right now. The one with him, the one with him and Ethan Hawke. Oh God, what's that
Training Day.
movie? Training Day. Thank you. I get brain farts the older I get, so forgive me. But
Yeah, me as well.
I actually booked that film. I booked that part. And what occurred there was it was me and Isai Morales who had booked that film with Antoine Fuqua, the director. But unfortunate for me, but fortunate for Isai Morales, he booked a series regular on a television show called NYPD Blue at the time, so
Mm,
he had to drop out of the film. So Antoine Fuqua decided he needed to recast because a lot of times directors cast actors depending on the chemistry between the actors. So when Isai dropped out of the film, he recasted, and unfortunately, he recasted me as well. But because I had already booked the gig, they had to pay me.
oh,
There's a
that's nice.
there's a clause in the SAG contract called play or pay. So once you book an actor, if you don't play him, meaning let him do his job, you still got to pay him because you already booked him. So I got paid a nice chunk of change, but I would have much rather have been in the film. But hey, these things happen in Hollywood. It's the nature of the beast in our industry, and I'm used to it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. At the end of the day, it's all business.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. So, you had any favorite actors or entertainers growing up?
Oof, great question. Um, I would have to say my favorite actor of all time is the late great Marlon Brando. A lot of youngsters won't know who Marlon Brando is or was, but there is one iconic character that he played that everybody knows, and that would be Mr. Don Corleone from The Godfather. He played the Godfather himself in the film The Godfather. But before that, Marlon Brando had a very brilliant career. He was just an actor that had his own style, and he would do this guy actually would have PAs holding a cardboard sign with the lines because he couldn't memorize all his lines. So sometimes you would see him literally do something like this, like look off camera, and then all of a sudden, well, and continue. But that's because he's reading the cue cards,
Yes.
on the side. And then sometimes he even had them tape it to the ceiling, so he'd be doing one of these like.
Yes.
But he's reading. He's actually reading the lines, and then he exactly. Yes, exactly. Hi, mom. Um, and so for me, he was such a brilliant uh, actor, so ahead of his time. Um, he did an amazing amount of body of work. Matter of fact, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor in The Godfather back in 1977. There's a very famous thing that happened when they announced him as the winner. He actually wasn't there. He didn't show up. He actually sent a Native American woman in his place to talk about the injustices that Native American people had suffered. So it's a very famous moment in Oscar history. And he made that because he basically didn't accept his Academy Award. And I think that was the only Academy Award he ever won. So for me, that was a very graceful thing for him to do. So I studied his techniques and everything, and I have incorporated a lot of his, I would say, nuances into some of my performances. And there's been a couple of times in my career where I've been compared, or the best compliment I ever got was that I have a very Brando-esque essence about me, and it's the best compliment I've ever received as an actor, because not that I try to emulate him, but I try to honor him in his performances. But besides him, there's been many, many other actors. Of course, Edward James Olmos, who gave me my career, and I always forever will credit Edward James Olmos with who gave me the opportunity to become an actor in a film called American Me back in 1991. And forever grateful to that man. But that man also, he paved the way for so many Latino actors to be able to do what we do now. He's a philanthropist. He's a humanitarian. He is one of the kindest human beings you could ever meet, and he does so much for the community. So working with him was definitely truly an honor. And then there's many other actors like Raul Julia and Anthony Quinn. A lot of actors that I wish I would have been able to work with before they passed away. But yeah, I've definitely been influenced by quite a few.
Yes. I'll go. Hey, you answer one of my questions. There's going to be a follow-up question. Who was actor you rather work with, living or
Yeah,
rather not? Yeah.
it would have to be Marlon Brando, definitely my top choice. But there's many others like Raul Julia. Those of you that don't know who Raul Julia was, you probably know him best for his performance as Gomez in the Addams Family films back in the late '90s, I believe, early 2000s. So he played the father, Gomez, in the Addams Family. And but he was such a prolific actor. He was in many, many other films, and I followed his career as well. And Anthony Quinn, oh my goodness, Anthony Quinn was a Mexican actor, and the reason he called himself Quinn is because his last name was Quintanilla or something like that. But at the time in the 1940s and 50s, when he started his career, nobody wanted to hear a Mexican actor. So he switched his name to Quinn. And on top of that, he played different races in his films. He
Mm.
played Italian in Mobsters. He played, I believe, a Middle Eastern or Arab in another film. And he was just an amazing actor as well. So I look up to a lot of these old school actors that I grew up with.
Oh, nice. So he kind of like snuck into but kind of like smoothed his way to the industry. Did he pave his way toward the Latino actors and actresses when he did
Exactly.
that? Yeah, that's
Exactly. And
smooth.
so he paved the way for a lot of us as well. So I'm very thankful to these old school Latino actors who paved the way. And one of the biggest compliments I've gotten from younger actors that I've mentored over the years is that they claim that I paved the way for them, that I'm the reason why they became actors. Matter of fact, I was just having this conversation with one of my good friends. His name is Rene Moran, and he is of Salvadorian descent as well.
Yes.
And he is a younger actor who's currently working in many different projects right now. He's actually represented by the same agency as me. I brought him into my agency, and Renee was telling me how he calls me Unc, he calls me Uncle.
Uh,
He goes, Unc, I can't believe it's been 20 years since we met, and I remember exactly the day I met you and how I met you, and and he's come a long way. So I always, am thankful to these younger actors who consider me um, one of the reasons why they became actors. That I paved the way, and I suppose I have. I'm just very. I'm one of the most humble dudes you'll ever meet. Like uh, I always try to explain to people, I'm I'm a human being first and foremost, and then
yes.
I'm an actor. That's what I do for a living. It doesn't define me being an actor. My job doesn't define the human being that I am. So
Yes.
this is the reason why I stay humble. And so whenever I hear those type of compliments, it's kind of difficult for me to embrace it, but I've learned to do it over the years, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, that's also a blessing. You never know who's watching. Somebody, I know in your career you want to reach certain heights, certain levels. Long as you've been in the industry, I'm sure you still working to be great and work on your craft. And there's somebody out there trying to get where you are right now.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And if I'm able to do that for a younger Latin actor, whether it be male or female, doesn't matter. I feel like I've done my job because the one thing that I wanted to always do was to be a positive influence for younger Latino actors to, like, because basically, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm no different, no different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing with me. I co-wrote a book and have no experience writing or anything. I did it, took a leap of
Really?
faith, and it made an international bestseller with 32 other authors. And that's the thing. If I could do it, you could do it.
You hit it
So
right there on the nose, my
yeah,
friend. A leap of faith.
yes,
I always use that as an example. And you know what? Before we end the podcast, I'm going to use that leap of faith because with that leap of faith, I have a message for people. But I want to say it quickly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, all good. Looking
Yes, sir.
forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, do you have any morning routines or any routines before you like go on set to go act or anything like that?
Definitely. If I know I have to have an early call time, or I know that I'm going to be working the next day, I get very excited, very antsy, the night before. So I make it a point to try to get to bed as early as possible so I can get a very good night's sleep. I make sure I wake up on time, set a couple of alarms because I've made that mistake before where I set one alarm and that battery dies. And yeah, so I don't make those mistakes anymore. But yeah, I like to get up in the morning before I go to set. Thank the Almighty for the opportunity of another day of life and another opportunity to showcase my talent and be able to hopefully inspire people. And then I have my morning coffee, Make sure I'll have maybe a smoothie like breakfast because they feed you on set. So I'd rather go on set and eat their food because their food is
Yeah.
bomb.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
this set food is so good, bro. I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you're lucky enough to have all three. And then uh, just stay focused and I literally rehearse my lines on the way to set. There's been times where I'll even record myself and I'll play, especially when you do like plays and stuff to help me uh, memorize lines. I'll record myself and then play it on my radio on the way to work um, because it just helps me retain it even better. Um, but yeah, but that's pretty much it as far as a routine before I go on set. But right now my morning routine is just waking up to make sure my parents are good, and get ready to go to work with my brother because I'm working. He's got an auto repair shop here in Utah,
Okay.
and so but my acting career is not over. Um, it is currently on a small hold. My whole team of agents that I have in LA understand why I'm here, and
Yes.
they're working with me. So uh, the auditions will start coming back in, and I'll be putting myself in tape again. Yeah, and whenever I book any gigs, I'll fly back to LA.
Yes. And I hold that for you. There's more to come. It's
Absolutely.
just getting started.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm the one thing that I've told people is that there's a very iconic actor that I work with. I would have to say he is the most iconic actor that I've ever worked with. And he is the only actor that I've ever been starstruck with. And that would be the amazing and talented William Shatner, or Bill, as he likes to be called,
Yeah.
Bill Shatner. Those of you that don't know Bill Shatner, William Shatner, he was Captain Kirk in Star
Captain
Trek.
Kirk.
T.J. Hooker, and
TJ Hooker.
he just turned 90, I think 92 or 94, something like that
Yes.
this year, and he is still acting.
Yes.
And let me tell you, knocking on wood right now because that's the kind of actor I want to be.
Yes.
I don't want to. I don't. You know what? I'll quit acting when I'm gone, when I'm buried.
Yes.
I don't. That's how much love I have for it. So William Shatner is definitely a legend in our industry, and he is someone that I look up to. And I got to work with him. I got to
Yes.
work with him on a show called Boston Legal, and I did 2 episodes with him, and that was one of the most memorable moments in my career.
All good. That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. And then speaking of actors who acted to they were gone, we just lost somebody today. This name John Ashton, Officer Taggart from Beverly Hills Cop. Rest in peace.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
We at the very least, he left us with another uh, rendition of his character Taggart in Axel Foley,
Excellent.
the latest installment of Beverly Hills Cop. And I saw the news today, and I saw that he had passed. Whenever any actors that I grew up with pass away, it's always bittersweet.
Yes.
It's sweet because, well, it's bitter because we've lost one. We've lost another one, and it's great because it's sweet because they've left us with this legacy that they left us with, and these memories and the laughs and the entertainment and all that. Um, and so what I like to do is I like to celebrate their life.
Yes.
And so one of the things I'm going to do after this podcast, I'm going to watch the very first Beverly Hills Cop in honor of him. Uh,
Yes.
and I tend to do that a lot whenever any of these actors that I've grown up with pass away. I like to go back and watch their movie just to honor them, and and uh, and you know, the one thing that I've realized is that I've left a legacy behind too. When I'm long and gone,
Absolutely.
you know, people are going to still be able to see a young me and an older me and a middle-aged me, you
Right.
know, and that feels great, you know. So I'm sure he felt the same way, you know, that he left that legacy behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, what are some of your favorite moments as an actor? I'm not kind of
Ooh. Okay. Well, the one with William Shatner is definitely one of the biggest highlights. Um, but as far as highlights in my career with actors that I worked with, a lot of people don't know that I've worked with so many celebrity actors the years. Um, and I'm talking, you know, obviously like Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty. That was one
boost
of
all
the
my
best. That was one of the best moments in my career, knowing that I got to work with, because I grew up on Jim Carrey in the '90s in living color. I
big.
saw Jim Carrey come up and become Jim Carrey. And then when you know, I get the opportunity to audition for his film and I end up booking it, I was like, you know, so working with Jim Carrey was great. Worked with Kathy Bates, John Travolta. Um, I mean, just so many actors that to me are legendary and iconic. So for me, those are the biggest highlights of my career. Besides some of my performances that I'm proud of, us actors, a lot of people don't know this about us, but us actors, we are our own worst critics. Like we'll literally watch something we've done and we cringe. You know I do. Because I'm like, oh, I could have done this different. I could have done that better. Why did they use that take? They should have used this take instead of that one. You start second guessing yourself, right? But at the end of the day, that's what we do. We're as actors, we criticize every little aspect of our performances because we always want to do the best. But at the end of the day, you know, the people that hired us, the producers that write our checks and pay us, they're happy, and you know the audience is happy, and that's where we got to leave it, you know. But but definitely, you know, the highlights in my career have been with the actors that I've had the opportunity to share the screen with, either the small or big screen, you know, and uh, uh, definitely one other thing that I would say is one of the biggest highlights in my career is the fact that I've I've set out to do, I've done what I set out to do, which was move people through my performances. And one of the biggest highlights was the film Crazy Beautiful, where I played the older brother of Jay Hernandez, and I worked with Kirsten Dunst as well. And I have that performance. There's a scene between Jay Hernandez and I. We call it the kitchen scene, and I've been able to move people with that performance and that scene because it's about the older brother checking the younger brother, telling him, "Don't be an idiot. Don't make the same mistakes I made. Don't be me. You know, respect our mother." You know, it was a very positive message. And I've had so many countless youngsters come up to me and say, "Hey, man, listen, that scene, Crazy Beautiful, where you're talking to your brother, you reminded me of my older brother. You reminded me of my dad. You know, and either they're passed away or they're locked up, or you know, they were trying to give me that positive message that you were giving your brother in that film. So thank you for that." And when I hear comments like that, man, it just you have no idea how much it makes my day, you know, because I know that set out, I've accomplished what I set out to do, which is move people through my performances. So yeah, it's
That's all
definitely a
good.
highlight.
Hey, that's a perfect answer for this platform like this. It's all
Yeah.
about inspiration and motivation. All
Hmm.
good. Hey,
Yeah.
This is a question from my wife Leslie. She asked
Oh,
this question months ago, but she
okay.
said she said either what you do or what happened to the dog Chico from next Friday.
You know, I get asked that question so many times. Unfortunately, as we all know, dogs' lifespans are not as long as ours.
Of course,
Um, and what a lot of people don't know is that we shot that film in 1998, and it came out in the year 2000, 2 years after we shot it. So that film is literally 24 years, well, 26 years old because we shot it in
wow.
98, but it's 24 years ago that it got released. So the only thing I could say is that I personally didn't know who the owner of Chico was, but there was two of them. There were brothers. There were two brothers, and the trainer. I don't remember who it was, but they were his dogs, and he trained them and everything. So I'm pretty sure that the the dog actors that played Chico are no
Yes,
longer with us, but they were great dogs. So, and I'm a dog dad. Well, I was a dog dad, but I love dogs. So being able to work with a great, beautiful creature like that was an amazing thing too.
yeah,
And a lot of great memories with Chico.
yes. Rest in peace, Chico.
R.I.P.
Yes. All right. It's well, since we're on next Friday, how was it? What was the experience working with Cube and Debo and Mike Epps?
Uh, you know, when I talk about next Friday these days,
Yeah,
I tend to get a little bit emotional because so many of my co-stars have passed already, and so the experience was unmatched.
yes,
I worked on next Friday for approximately about a month, and we shot it in different locations, different scenes. Um, the best part, some of the best memories I have is number one when I got on set and I got to finally shake Ice Cube's hand and tell him that I'm a huge fan, since NWA, and the fact that he picked me to be one of the Joker brothers
yes,
was a great honor for me. I told him, thank you. And then getting to work with such an amazing, talented, funny cast, and watching them, like Mike Epps. Mike Epps was nobody until he did Next Friday.
yeah,
The Next Friday catapulted him to the success
yeah,
that he's had now.
right,
And then the late great John Witherspoon, one of the
yes,
funniest mans to grace the screen, one of the funniest comedians. Everybody's always going to remember Pops. I got to work with Justin Pierce, who played Roach, and unfortunately, um, a few months after we finished filming, he took his own life,
okay,
and that was really hard because I got to. I mean, Justin and I didn't become like best friends by no means, but we definitely became excellent colleagues in that shoot because I had a great deal of respect for his talent as an actor. Because I don't know, a lot of you don't know, but Justin Pierce was actually in a movie called Kids prior to Next Friday, and his performance in that really blew me away because it's so
mm,
real, very raw, very realistic film. Um, so Justin and I actually had a lot of time to talk and get to know each other, and he shared quite a bit of his personal life with me, including his relationship. And at the end, when he took his own life, it was because of a failure in his relationship, was my understanding. It made me so sad that such a young, talented actor, you know, chose to go that way.
yeah,
Um, So that was difficult. And then, when Pops, because John
Uh,
Witherspoon was not only Pops in Next Friday, he was Pops in the Wayans Brothers too.
yes.
And a lot of people don't know this, but I got to work with the Wayans Brothers. I was in an episode of the Wayans Brothers, so I got to meet John Witherspoon back then, and Damon and Marlon. And so then when I got to work with John Witherspoon again, and he was playing Pops again in Next Friday, I reminded him of that. He's like, "You were that young man, weren't you?" I go, I was that young man. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you wore that leotard really well." So John just made us all laugh, made me feel, as part of the family. So when I heard his passing, that hurt too.
Yeah.
And then, Tommy Lister, who played
Yes.
Debo, during COVID, I get the news that he passed. I suspect, I don't know for sure, but from what I heard, he may have caught COVID, and that's what did him in.
Yeah.
So working with all these actors, see, whenever you work on a set for so long with so many different actors, not only the actors but also the crew, you start becoming like family. There's this bond that you form because not only does it help in the performances as for the actors, but it also helps the bond between the crew. Also helps to make you a better actor because you have this amazing bond with them. And when you leave, it's a little sad, because you feel like you're losing a member of your family. So I considered them all to be part of my on-set family, is what I call them, right? So whenever we lose an on-set family member, it can hurt, and it did because Debo, Tommy,
Yeah.
who played Debo, was a gentle giant. That was
Yep.
all
Yep.
an act. That was all
Yeah.
an act. As Tommy Lister, he
Yes.
was a gentle giant, very kind, very sweet. Um, and I have a cool photo of me and him. It's in my Instagram, as a matter of fact, uh, where this promoter brought us on a show, a Spanish show called Noches con Platanito. Um, and we just two special guests, and Tommy and I were there in the green room waiting, and the promoter took a photo of us, which was a little blurry. And I at the time when I used to smoke, I had a vape when
Yeah.
vapes barely came out. And so I was blowing out the vape smoke, and he caught this candid moment because Tommy's looking at me kind of like, not in disgust, but in disagreement of me smoking, because
Yeah.
he never liked me smoking, and I'm just kind of like blowing the smoke out. So that picture, it's a moment that was caught that I treasure so much because it was the last time I saw Tommy. And so working on set was an amazing experience because I got to work with so many talented and funny actors. But at the same time, this whole talk about Cube trying to get a Last Friday out,
Yes.
unfortunately, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema own the rights to the franchise, so they have last say, and they weren't allowing him to do it. Finally, something changed in the hierarchy of Warner Brothers, where somebody that worked with Cube in the original Friday film is now head of that department at Warner
Mm.
Brothers, and he's giving them the green light, from what I heard. But in my opinion, it's not going to be the same
Yeah, it's not gonna be the same.
without Pops, without Debo, without Roach, without
Right.
Bernie Mac, and a few other actors that have passed away from the film, because his Cube's whole idea was to bring all the characters from all three films in a mashup at the end,
Yes.
But without Pops, because you have your protagonists and antagonists in a film, and you had the antagonist being Debo, the bad guy, right? The antagonist is always the bad guy, the protagonist is
Yeah.
always the guy, the hero. You know, without Pops and without Debo, I just don't see how it's going to work. To be
Yeah.
honest, but that's just my opinion. And people keep asking me, "Are you going to be in the last Friday?" No, even if they offer it to me, unless it's a ridiculous amount of money, I probably won't do it.
Yeah. Hey. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
All good. Hey.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So before we sign off, you said you wanted to say something to the audience, and you could tell them where they could find you. And also, you're also a great content creator on TikTok.
Yeah.
You actually have a TikTok shop they could follow you on as well. You could go ahead and talk about that.
So I do have a TikTok. I started doing TikTok because I had a younger actor friend of mine who opened up his TikTok, and he was on a very popular show called On My Block on Netflix at the time, and just he just wanted me to follow him. So I opened up a TikTok account. I had no profile, no videos, no picture, no nothing. It was just so I can follow him and watch his videos. And then one day he came to my house and he's like, "Dude, there's this TikTok video trend I want you to do." And I'm like, "I don't want to do that. I'm not about that." Anyways, kind of, you know, cohort me into doing it, and I did it, and the video went viral because it was a video of me in Next Friday, and
Yeah.
I'm the green screen, and I got the video behind me, and it was the voice of a younger Disney actress or something like that, where she goes, da, 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 yeah, I did that, and I got paid for it too, and so anyway, so it was this trend with a lot of actors that were using that sound. So I did it, and the thing blew up, man. And the next thing I know, I got like 2,500 followers within 48 hours, and then 5,000, and then 10K, and just started growing from there. And I got like almost 100K followers right now. And but I started realizing that all the followers that were following me loved me from Next Friday, and they're showing so much love and support. And then when I started going live, it was just
Yeah.
to me it was fun. It was fun to be able to interact with my followers, and I don't like to call them fans, even though I know a lot of them are, but I
Yeah.
just call them followers because I just feel like when I go live to interact with them. I don't,
Yeah.
a lot of people to this day, a lot of people are like, "You should have your blue check mark. You should be verified." I'm like, that doesn't bother me. I don't care about that. I'm not on TikTok to get verified. I'm not on Instagram to get verified. I'm there to interact with my followers and those people that show love. I love to show love back. So yes, I do have a TikTok account. It's under my name, Rolando Molina 91. I do have one other backup account, which is instead of 91, it's 71. So those are the only two accounts I have on TikTok. So anybody else, if you see any other account on TikTok that's not Rolando Molina 91 or Rolando Molina 71, they're fake accounts.
Like no
Um,
bueno.
what?
The fake accounts no bueno.
No, exactly. No
Yeah.
bueno. So them.
That,
And I just do a lot of fun videos. I try to be funny. I try to be creative and just have fun. I don't do videos for the clout. I don't do videos for the views. I don't care if it goes viral or not. I do it just to do it. And then I also do have a TikTok shop. I mean, I promote TikTok shop products because I'm a hustler. If they want to pay me to promote their products, yeah, I'll
yeah.
do it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what I do. I'm an actor. So the products that I promote in my showcase is in my TikTok bio. And I have a lot of cool, fun products. Matter of fact, this right here is in
There you
there,
go.
guys.
Right.
So, and I get to keep these things that they send me, and I don't keep all of them though. The majority of the products that I get from the TikTok shop, I give to friends and families because a lot of things I really don't use. But I hear that now that I'm here at my parents' house, I've been getting them a lot of cool little products for them. I'm getting them a carpet. I got them this fly trap. I got, just stuff that they need around the house. So if you guys want to go check out my showcase, feel free to, click the link and order whatever you want to order. I do have an Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram that much, you know. So, but the link is in my bio for my TikTok to my Instagram as well. So if you guys want to follow me there, more than happy to. So,
Yeah, all good. Yep, and we'll post that when this gets released.
okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So before we end the podcast, this is what I want to leave you guys with. Remember how you said you took a leap of faith to write that book and get it
Yes.
published and everything? So when I made the decision right out of high school to become an actor, and I mentioned it to a few people, I had a lot of naysayers. You're too short, too fat. You're not good looking enough. You're Latin. You're gay. You're not going to be able to become a successful actor. Well, all these naysayers um, kind of fueled me to want to prove them wrong because I knew I could do it. I knew it. I just had this gut feeling. And mind you,
Yeah.
never had any formal training. I didn't go to Juilliard or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I'm what you call a natural. It's because I had an infinite love for the craft. So I did what you did. I took the leap of faith, and this is what I'm going to tell people. This is my message. If you guys have a dream, if you have a passion for something, if you believe in something, take a leap of faith and pursue it. Do whatever you can to try and accomplish that dream, that goal, that passion. And that's when you take a leap of faith. And even if you don't accomplish it, even if you don't succeed, it's okay because at the very least, you will not live the rest of your life wondering, what if? What if I had given it a shot? What if I had taken a leap of faith? Where would I be now? The worst thing a person can do is living the rest of their lives with regret and wondering, what if? Don't be that guy. Don't be that woman. Be that person who took a leap of faith, who took a chance and gave it their best shot. And at least you can say, hey, I gave it my best shot. It wasn't for me. But if it is for you, you'll be thankful that you took that leap of faith. So take it.
Amen to that. Take the leap of faith.
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Hey, that's a great way to end the show that right there.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
And thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me. I
Yes.
appreciate
Yes. Yes. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure.
it. Same
Yes.
here, my man.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Rolando Molina.
Y'all have a blessed night.
Have a blessed night.
All right, my man.
Right now.